Do they actually think music fans are going to line up and continue subscribing to platforms like Spotify just to listen to playlists where most of the artists are just all AI shit?
Yes. Alright, so this band on Spotify, the Velvet Sundown, who previously denied all allegations of being AI, has now come out and admitted to being AI. The basic rundown is that this AI band has an astonishing amount of monthly listeners on Spotify, and they have been gaining more and more by the day. Here in this video, James Lee talks about why this may be happening.
Pelly writes, quote, "In doing so, they are effectively working to grow the percentage of total streams of music that is cheaper for the platform." Which, you know, from a business perspective makes total sense, and PFC is, in fact, Spotify's largest profitability scheme.
Although it's unconfirmed, to me this is a very likely theory, and it makes sense considering what we know about Spotify's financials, being that they've been struggling to make a successful profit off their current system. Another point is that, in my opinion, the music industry is pretty overinflated, and the idea of how much money is going around is kind of crazy when you really consider it. Music and art in general doesn't really provide intrinsic value to the economy. With how much money is in the industry and the millionaires that are made from it, it seems like it was inevitable that something would eventually come along and break all that apart. In my personal view, what is happening with AI makes complete sense, and it will only become more prevalent. And if you think this is a one-off case and Spotify will shut this down, I personally have found several other AI artists on Spotify that popped up on my weekly discovery. I have two examples here, Quantatious and Glum Alex. Both have over 100,000 monthly listeners, with Glum Alex over 500,000. Coming to the conclusion that these are AI isn't really difficult. I saw Rick Beato in this video prove the previous band mentioned, the Velvet Sundown, is AI by splitting the song's tracks and listening for artifacts. You really don't have to do all that. Looking here at Quantatious, right away before even listening, we can see in his discography that he popped up in 2024. This doesn't guarantee that it's AI, but it's a common marker of AI to pop up all of a sudden in 2024 or 2025. An obvious telltale sign of all AI music right now is this strange, slight electronic type voice it has. Here in Vader Black, I can clearly hear it. You can even hear the AI mess up in a very non-human way right here. Going over to Glum Alex, not only is the voice blatant AI, but what I found interesting were these credits. He has himself listed as main artist, but weirdly in all these songs, the composer, producer, and even the performer sometimes are listed as this random guy who cannot be found anywhere on Spotify. So what's the big issue with AI music? Well, a big problem people have is with AI specifically. Now, obviously, these AI accounts are using something like Suno or other AI music generators to make their music. In this clip, Chris explains how AI music generators work and his take on it.
Also admit that they used every single piece of music available on the internet for their training. Even if the collection is technically done legally, that doesn't mean it was done ethically. To me, the only way to work with a piece of music ethically in the way that these AIs would is to get permission from the artist who made the music or someone that represents them, as without that, you're essentially stealing their work.
Now, this is a very common take you'll find from basically anyone with a platform on any type of art media. They often claim that AI is just stealing, but how we know these AI algorithms work, and even in their own explanations, it's clear the AI isn't stealing. The AI is just learning from media. Every single human who has ever made anything or had any idea all have done the same thing. Ideas don't just come from out the void. Everything you have ever thought of and anything you've ever made, all were a product of stuff that you learned and experienced in life. Just because you can't recall the many different influences that led to what you create or think doesn't mean they're not there. You, me, and media-trained AI algorithms all create in the same manner. The AI is just much more efficient at it. I mean, we consider stuff that literally uses large parts of media to be ethical and plenty to be fair use. So how are we gonna call AI unethical when it's learning and creating in the exact same way as you and me?
Do they actually think music fans are going to line up and continue subscribing to platforms like Spotify just to listen to playlists where most of the artists are just all AI shit?
Yes. See, this is another very common talking point that comes from people in art media spaces. It really is just a coping mechanism that is used in these loud minority groups of people where they reaffirm each other and create their own bubble of misconception. What most of these people fail to get is that you are not the majority. You are not an average consumer of media. The average person that listens to music or that intakes visual arts is not gonna give a fuck. I mean, they might not even realize it's AI, honestly. I am in no way benefiting from AI music. I produce beats, write and record, mix and master all of my own stuff, and I care deeply about what I make. That being said, AI is inevitable. AI music isn't unethical unless human music is unethical. The average person does not care whether what they're listening to is AI or not. The art media industry is largely overinflated, and something like this was bound to happen. That doesn't mean you have to stop intaking the media that you want to, though. If you want to listen to human music, go listen to human music. No one's gonna stop you. It also doesn't mean you have to stop making whatever art form you make. It just means there's less of a chance for you to make a full-time career, which sucks, but it's okay, because if you really do enjoy art, you're gonna keep making it, because what it provides you with is more important than money or whether or not people see it.